So today's video is all about how to shoot little mini short films, little narratives at your house with things that you have around on a daily basis, and how you can get creative with different shots when you're filming kind of by yourself or you and a couple people. Specifically today, I'm gonna be talking about this little mini short film that I shot with my new puppy Maya that you guys probably saw on the channel last week. It was a fun, really little short project. Like I'm barely over a minute, I think, but it was really fun to do. And it honestly was more challenging than I was expecting. So I kind of wanted to share what I learned throughout the process, maybe what not to do next time, how to save time, be more efficient, all those things, because I did learn quite a few little tips and tricks along the way. Just like most projects, it all starts with an idea. It sounds really great in your head, and then you begin to actually try to carry out the idea or execute the idea, and you run into some problems. For me, with this little project, what I really wanted to do was to highlight a day in the life of Maya, what it's like, the realities of having a puppy. And it's not all just fun and cute and games. Like, they go to the bathroom a lot, they want to eat a lot, they want to play a lot, they have a lot of energy, all those different things. And I kind of wanted to highlight what her day looks like, but I wanted it to be more of a Maya POV, not necessarily from her perspective, but I wanted it to feel like the camera was down at her level the whole time. Like I wanted it to feel like we were experiencing the world from her world, her level, her height, like all those things. So that was kind of the goal going into it. I knew I wanted to play around with some perspective shots, some fixed perspectives on different things. As you guys probably saw in the video, I'm gonna break down how I got all those shots. I filmed a little bit behind the scenes as I was doing it. It really took about 5 days of me just grabbing my camera at random times, catching her doing something that I needed for the video, because with a puppy who doesn't really understand, you know, training and calls yet and different things and commands, it's hard to get her to do exactly what you want to do. So that was a whole nother challenge with this project, specifically just working with animals, especially a puppy who's untrained. And it took a while to get every shot that I wanted. I literally had a friend who knew I was making this video ask me what was taking so long, and assumed it was going to be like a 20-minute film, because in reality, it was like a minute and a half, but what really took so long was just getting her in the right shots at the right time. And I really wanted to take my time with this one, and it's still not perfect. I did rush a few shots, you can kind of tell, but it was more of a fun project. It wasn't for a client, so it's okay. So I'm gonna go grab my laptop and we're gonna break this thing down shot by shot and see exactly kind of what I was thinking during these shots and how I got them. And then maybe if you guys in the comments have some different suggestions, I'd love to hear those too, because I'm also learning. I don't know everything. I don't really know what I'm doing most of the time. So this is a learning experience for me too. And I'll briefly also talk about how I color graded this project, which is some of my favorite part of the work is the color grading. So that's where you make the style, in my opinion. So I kind of knew the look I was going for ahead of time, and I'll break that down as well. You probably noticed also that this is a 4x5 timeline. So the aspect ratio of this project is like 4:5. Roughly, I think it's 3840. Yeah, 3840 by 2700 is the timeline resolution. So before we get going, you can see here my sound effects are below, music's in the middle. I like to put my music on the magnetic timeline and drop my clips above it. It's just what I like to do. It's not necessarily right or wrong. I'm not a huge magnetic timeline fan, so for me, this is kind of the way I like to do it, and it works. And now in the adjustment layers, that's kind of where I put my finishing LUTs usually, and like film grain and stuff like that. So my finishing LUTs are just used to kind of stylize footage, glue all the shots together, make it feel cohesive, make it feel like one complete piece. So that's what that's for. And then I'm actually working on all my own LUTs in general. There should be more information coming about that soon, but I'm not going to be shoving, you know, buy my LUTs down your throat. But I do want to give you guys the option to purchase the way I like to color grade and some of my stylized stuff. Been working on a Rec 709 LUT as well. So this first shot here, they're pretty simple. I'm just hand holding the C70 and getting my inner crate. Pretty self-explanatory, not much to explain there. Same here. This was a tripod shot that I basically just put up, and I wanted to get her kind of her action of her moving. And again, I'm by myself, so I can't, you know, get her to follow me while also filming. Sometimes it's difficult. So I set the tripod up, had her walk down the stairs. Same here, tripod's outside. Pretty self-explanatory. I just, actually on this one, I think the camera's actually on the ground because I don't have a tripod that can get that low. Yeah, so tripod here, camera on the ground here. A lot of camera on the ground in this video, I'm not gonna lie. I just would set the camera down and let her do her thing. So they use that technique a lot. This is just a base, just a wide shot here to kind of give a vibe for where we're going outside real quick. Again, handheld stuff here. All Sigma 24-70, Canon C70, that's kind of what I was doing. So handheld thing, again, camera on the ground here. Again, trying to get down low to her perspective, right? It's very, very self-explanatory. This, I kind of wanted that almost showing a lot of details throughout the process. And I just wanted to really flex the muscle of like coming up with unique angles and unique ways to shoot things. It wasn't necessarily for me. Obviously, I love my puppy. This is a fun video, but I really just wanted to have fun and be creative and think of unique ways to shoot stuff. So that's kind of what I was going for here. With me filling up her water bowl here, you can kind of see I kind of shot the whole process and cut that with the music because I just liked the way that felt. But yeah, and then here she's obviously drinking the water, so we transitioned from the sink, bop, her drinking the water. Pretty basic storytelling here. This shot, fun fact, this shot and this shot were shot at totally different days. I had a different shot here originally, and I got this like one of the last days I was shooting it, and I just liked it better. I just liked the way the light was coming in from the windows here. You got the dark side here, and then I left a little bit of this table in the foreground because I like the way it looks. It just makes the frame more interesting, gives it more depth. And this is one of the more rare shots also from above. Like, I didn't shoot a lot of that, so I wanted to kind of break it up with some of the framing along the way, and this is kind of how I chose to do that. This whole sequence, I have a whole kind of behind the scenes part of. I'm gonna kind of cut to this here and let you guys kind of hear me in the moment figuring this stuff out, because I think it's probably a little bit more interesting than me explaining it now. I am about to film the water bowl shot here. So what I want to do is I want to kind of get some close-ups of kind of turning on the faucet, right? I want to get some close-ups of the water turning on, and then also get some close-ups of like the water kind of hitting the bowl. I have these nice like aluminum bowls, which I think will be cool because the water will be kind of look clear through it, and you'll see some cool reflections and stuff. So okay, so I kind of ended up almost like holding the tripod, like leaning it on just two legs, and myself holding it while the water's filling up. I think it worked out pretty good. It kind of got the gist of what I was going for, so yeah, we'll see. Okay, so the next shot I'm trying to get is I want to get some close-ups of like me pouring food into her bowl, and I kind of want a couple different shots of this because I have like a POV of the bowl shot idea for like when I actually give her the food. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rig the bowl with clamps onto the C70, so it's that classic like POV. The perspective is fixed to the food bowl, not to her. So that when I drop it down, you know, I have my hand on it, so it looks like someone's setting the bowl down. You get to see her like flying in. I think that's gonna be a really cool shot. So these shots are really just more of like setup shots. I need to get essentially like someone scooping the food out of the bucket and then dumping the food into the bowl, and then I'll cut to the POV shot of like carrying the bowl to Maya. Does that make sense? So that's kind of the idea here. So I'm just gonna do some close-ups of the food. Probably gonna handheld these. All right, so I got those shots, and now the next shot was I want to get a POV of her chewing on her bone, kind of like tugging with it. So I rigged it to the camera like this, essentially. Put the clamp on the front. I'm obviously shooting this handheld, but I have a rod here going out to this clamp, and I just grip the bone. And it actually turned out pretty cool. So hopefully it'll make the video. I don't know, I'm doing this obviously now, so I don't really know what's gonna make it, but I thought it turned out cool. This is also a very similar setup that I'm gonna use for the feeding shot, the bowl. So same concept, just replace the bone with the bowl, essentially. So yeah, here, I mean, all I was going for obviously was the almost insignificant details of feeding Maya and giving her water in the morning. So I got every shot of the scoop, the pour into the bowl, and then this is like a fixed perspective shot. This is kind of what I wanted to try stuff, different ways to do this with this film. It's a great shot of Maya pooping. Some people had a problem with that. I just think that's real life, so I don't really care. But that's just me, but I get it. To each their own, right? You could skip that part in the video if you don't want. This is another shot that, again, the same idea, that fixed perspective stuff. So basically what I did was I got one of her favorite little bones, clamped it to the camera, same rig, and then just made sure the focus was kind of at the right spot. So when she's playing with her bone, it kind of looks like I'm holding it. You can almost imagine, and you get a really unique shot of Maya and her expressions and her eyes and just all the things she's doing as she's gnawing on this, giving me the side eye. Hilarious. You know, you just kind of got to have the camera ready with stuff like this. What I've learned is like, just be ready to shoot anything at any point, because you never know when a cool shot's going to come. Light was great this morning. Had the sun coming in from over there, which looks really nice, and then the dark side here, the shadow. It was just a really beautifully backlit shot, and it just works good. Same with this shot, is very similar. I think it's the same time I shot this. This little Maya, again, camera like backing up here. I'm trying to break up the perspectives, right? I'm trying to break up tight, and then I wanted some wide shot to kind of basically explain in further detail of what was actually happening. So I put the camera down, walked out, started walking with her to kind of give a different vibe. Pretty sure this is a gimbal shot. I think I did this the first day I was shooting. I didn't do much gimbal stuff other than day one, but I had the Ronin, the RS3 with the C70 just underslung, and was having her kind of follow, you know, again, trying to get different ways to get her perspective. This cuts back to the fixed perspective thing again with the bone. Just her kind of pawing at it. Very simple. So here she's running. I was trying to signify essentially her her excited to go get lunch. Like that's kind of the idea. So we're going to get lunch here, you know, all that good stuff. Another feeding shot. So this time I didn't go into as much detail with filling up the food because we know what this is. You know what it is at this point. I wanted all of her meal times to get faster every time in terms of the prep, and you just see her eating quicker, and to kind of signify, okay, that we're on feeding 2 today, or we're on 3 already. You know what I mean? Again, another same kind of vibe. I like this one a lot, even though there's kind of misfocus when she lands. I just love the angle I had on this shot where you could see her sliding in. I just thought that was hilarious. Her put on the brakes there, trying to hit the bowl. And then we kind of cut to this, like, where the music track that I think I got from Epidemic Sound, it kind of dives down and gets a little softer. I was trying to edit to the music, so I wanted it to feel like, okay, what would be a good thing to cut to here for this segment? And I thought that nap time, Maya getting rest, you know, chilling out, whatever you want to call it. You know, puppy's gonna sleep. It's what they be doing. I just lucked out one day. She was in a real chill mood, and she just let me film all of these without freaking out. And it was just perfect for what it was. And then music kicks back in, and we're right back to, you know, the crazy. Like this shot here, honestly, not great. This was the hardest stuff to film by myself, was her playing, because I wanted to signify like energy and her speed. But if you cut here, I mean, dude, those windows are blown out like crazy. I mean, it's just a tough environment to shoot in, like, and so it's just not the best shots, but it signifies energy, and I wanted the stark from her sleeping to when the music kicks back in to be pretty stark. So I wanted that tone shift to be evident. These two were totally different days, I'm not gonna lie. I just saw this shot when I was editing, and she jumped, and I was like, oh, it'd be great to cut to this of her getting to that toy. Now that you know they're different, you probably can tell, but if in the context of the film, you can't really. It feels good. We're cutting now at this point to kind of midday, late day, where she eats for her last meal of the day. The sun's starting to go down in the house, and you can see the light again coming in from the window here, the shadow here. I thought this is a great shot, so I went really top down on this one because I just thought it was cool. And got the bowl, but then you have the perspective of her coming in. So I went back low again for her shot of her eating. And this is kind of a different shot this time. We've been seeing her face the whole film so far when she was eating. So I wanted this one backlit. So I kind of shot in front of the window, same spot, but just changed my angle. Let the light come in and me kind of get below. So then we cut to the outside shot of my dad taking her out. Use the bathroom kind of after dinner, chilling, getting ready to, you know, calm down for the evening. Her kind of walking up to the camera there. Good. I like that shot. And then her kind of just chilling out. And this is the end. I'll admit the end was a little rushed. The whole film feels a little rushed to me, but I also don't mind it. I mean, dude, we all got to be, be able to critique our own work honestly. And you know, this film's not perfect. It's by no means perfect. It's not exactly what I had in my mind when I had the original idea, but like at some point you just got to do it. You know what I mean? And deal with whatever the results are and then learn from them. So I learned a lot on this one. Like I learned maybe some shots I could have taken more time with, working on lighting better. Like I didn't use any lights in this project, it's all natural light. So I was using kind of what I had at my disposal. If you had, you know, more time and more people and more resources, you probably could have used some lights, thrown some lights up, taking your time with some more stuff. But it was just a fun project for me to do. And I had a good time doing it. And it was, like, again, allowed me to explore and experiment with different camera angles. I think that's important. I'll quickly touch on the grade here. So basically all I'm doing, I will go step by step of what I've done here. This is the raw footage. Boom. Okay. First I added my own, this is my own C-Log to Rec 709 conversion LUT. So that's what that's doing. This shot was pretty overexposed, but that's the beauty of the C70. It's better to overexpose than to underexpose. So what I end up doing here is just bringing the highlights down a ton on the color wheels. As you can see here, look at that detail that's retained. I didn't really do a whole lot. I brought the midtones down a lot because I kind of wanted this to be soft in the mids, not super crunchy and high key, so it's very soft highlights. This is before the adjustment layer, and these are the changes I made. Boom. I mean, C70's highlight retention is crazy. Really pleased with that. And then on top of that, this is just some of my stylized LUTs that I've been working on. This is kind of like a warm filmish look, and then I threw some film grain. This is just like stock Final Cut film grain. It defaults to this iMovie grain, which is disgusting. I'll show it to you. If you go to this iMovie grain, it's like gross. It has this weird, I'll turn the stylized LUT off. It just has this weird tint to it, and I don't really know why it does that. The realistic grain is better because it doesn't affect color really. It just kind of adds the grain, which is what I wanted. And then that paired with the stylized LUT, you kind of get that nice warm, just kind of, I mean, people do this look all the time. There's a ton of LUTs out there with this look. This is just my kind of interpretation of it. That's pretty much my process for the entire thing. It was really just a bunch of trial and error. I can't tell you how many times I tried a shot and then it didn't work, and then I had to do something different, or I bailed or did it a different way. Like, there was so many times I did that. And that's just filmmaking, man. I feel like we got to learn how to do stuff by trying it. You're not gonna be able to just watch a video of somebody else and then make it happen. So I encourage you guys to take these techniques, try them. If you're like new to this and you're trying to figure out what your style is, what you like to do, you're only gonna realize what that is by just trying different styles and trying different things and different looks and different color grades and different things like that. Like for me, I'm exploring the kind of warm, vintage, more old school feel that's kind of popular right now because I do enjoy it. I don't normally follow the things that are just popular, but I just find this look cool and interesting, and so I'm messing around with it. But you don't have to do that. You can try something that you're into, and that's what I think is cool about filmmaking in general, is everybody kind of has their own look, their own feel, and you're gonna learn by doing. So I encourage you guys to go out there and try some of these things, try stuff on your own. Let me know what you think about the film, what you would have done differently. I'm very interested. Again, I'm open to criticism because I don't know everything, and I like to learn and hear from you guys because you guys also are talented in this field, and you're watching this video because you're into filmmaking. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I hope you got something. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. I appreciate each and every one of you for always coming and watching these videos. Also got some exciting stuff coming. Got some cool videos next week. I'm going to be kind of breaking down my entire gear list for this year and kind of what I've been using. Gear is not everything. It's not the most important thing, but it is interesting, and it's always cool to me to see the behind the scenes of stuff, to see what tools people are using. So that's what I'm going to be breaking down next week. So be on the lookout for that. Got some big stuff I'm going to try to film this summer. Big projects. I'm excited. So be ready to see a lot more content. I'll catch you guys in the next one.